Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, especially for our lecturer, Madam Puan Hajiah Saflina binti Aziz. Today, we would like to present our group project assignment slides for ACC116, Introduction to Cost Accounting. So, without wasting our time, let's start. First of all, I would like to introduce all of our group members. We have Sharifah Dia Maisara, Nuzarah Alia, Inzati Inshira, Muhammad Amir Haziman, and lastly we have Muhammad Shafiq Akmal. Firstly, I will explain about the business background of Capit Sdn Bhd. As you can see from the slide, Capit Mobile is self-created Malaysian technology manufacturing company located at Kulim High-Tech Park Kedah, which is one of Malaysia's leading technology and manufacturing hubs. The company operates as private limited or Sdn Bhd organisation. Our company is focused on manufacturing two main products, which are smartphones and laptops. Our smartphones are designed with advanced processors, high resolution displays, and long-lasting batteries to provide a better user experience. Meanwhile, our laptops are suitable for students, professional, business, and creative users who need reliable performance. In terms of operations, Capit Mobile use modern manufacturing technology and skilled local talent to produce high-quality electronic devices. Our products are distributed through retail stores and online platforms to reach more customers across Malaysia. Finally, our business was created in 2024 and our company slogan is Innovate Today, Connect Tomorrow, which reflects our commitment to innovation, quality, and connecting people through technology.
Next is 3.0 Product Costing. 3.1 Product Costing Methodologies employed. For both the smartphone and laptop, we use the batch costing method. This method is suitable because both products are manufactured in the batches with the same model, design, and specification. The total production cost for each batch is then accumulated and divided equal among all units produced to determine the cost per unit. Moving on to our first product, the smartphone. This slide provides a clear breakdown of both our direct materials and indirect materials costs for a production volume of 50 units. Firstly, for the direct materials cost, our major expenses come from OLED display at 6,000 ringgit and the battery at 4,500 ringgit. Together with other essential components like processor, camera module, and mainboard, the total direct materials cost come up to 24,715 ringgit. Secondly, you can see indirect materials cost. We have glue, screw, solder paste, protective films, labels, and the total is 425 ringgit. 3.2 Identification and breakdown of direct materials cost for laptop. Similar to the smartphone, this breakdown is also based on the production quantity of 50 units. For the direct materials cost, our higher investment are in the main process unit. Specifically, the processor at 22,500 ringgit and the motherboard at 15 ringgit. Including all other hardware components and packaging, our total direct materials for the laptop is 89,000 ringgit. For indirect materials, items like glue, soldering materials, label and sticker, and packaging tape, bringing the total indirect materials cost just 375 ringgit. 3.3 Analysis of direct labor costs associated with a production for smartphone and laptop. First, for direct labor, we have four main rules on the production floor, including assembly workers and hardware technicians. With a standard 14-hour work per week, the total direct labor cost come to 5,920 ringgit. Indirect labor. This covers 7 separate roles in such as factory supervisor, production manager, quality control, and security. The hours vary from 38 to 50 hours a week, bringing the total indirect labor cost to 12,672 ringgit. 3.4. The slide shows the allocation of manufacturing overhead costs for smartphone and laptop production. Manufacturing overhead includes indirect costs that support the production process but cannot be directly traced to one product. The main production overhead costs are factory rent, indirect labor, maintenance and repair, cleaning chemicals, and safety equipment. The total production overhead is 6,115 ringgit. For non-production overhead, among the costs include office utilities, marketing and advertising, office stationery, and staff training. The total is 5,013 ringgit. These costs help support the business operation but are not directly involved in manufacturing the products. 3.5. Illustrating the application of product costing for smartphone and laptop. For the smartphone, after calculating the direct materials, labor, and overhead, the total cost per unit is 750 and 16 sen ringgit. By applying 40% profit markup, we will get 286 and 24 sen ringgit. So our final selling price is 101 and 84 sen ringgit. As for laptop, the higher direct materials cost bring the total cost per unit to 2,027 and 16 sen ringgit. With the same 14% markup, we will get 811 and 4 sen ringgit. So the final selling price comes to 2,813.8 and 4 sen ringgit. 3.6. Picture of the product. On the left, you can see the display for a smartphone, and on the right is the display for a laptop. Both infographic clearly separate the component of the direct materials and indirect materials as an illustration.
Assalamualaikum. Today I'm glad to present section 4.0, which is the focus on our job cost card analysis. So, a job cost card is a vital tool that helps us track and accumulate all the costs involved in manufacturing a specific product. For this presentation, we will be looking into the cost structures of two major products, our smartphone and our laptop. Let us begin with the smartphone. So, the journey starts with the direct material, which include components like the OLED display, processor module, and main board, totaling like RM455 ringgit. When we combine this with our direct labor cost, 37 ringgit, covering assembly, installation, machine operation, and testing, we arrive at prime cost with RM492 ringgit. So, production cost. Next, we allocate the production overhead costs, which consists of factory expenses such as rent, electricity, and machine depreciation, amounting like 120 ringgit. Adding this to our prime cost gives us a total production like 650 ringgit. So, final price is by factoring in non-production overheads like marketing, administrative salaries, and office utilities like 100 ringgit and 60 sen. The total product cost comes to 715 ringgit and 60 sen after applying a profit margin of 286 ringgit 24 sen. We set the final selling price at 1,001 ringgit 84 sen. Now let us shift our attention to the laptop. So naturally, due to more complex and premium hardware such as the 15.6-inch FHD display, SSD storage, and advanced motherboard, the direct material cost is significantly higher at 1,810 ringgit. Interestingly, our direct labor cost remains standard at 37 ringgit. This gives us a prime cost of 1,847 ringgit. So, just like the smartphone, the factory shared production overhead adds an identical 123 to the sum, driving the overall production cost up to 1,927 ringgit. So, after including the non-production overhead allocation of 100 ringgit 60 sen, the cumulative product cost for the laptop is 2027 and 60C. To maintain healthy business operation, a profit of 811 with 4 sen is added, establishing a final selling price of 2000 ringgit 838 ringgit with 64 sen.
5.0 Assembly Protocol. This flowchart outlines the structure, workflow, and timeline for our group assignment, beginning with the group meeting and business selection on May 21st, 2026. Following this initial stage, the team will collect information about the business background and the two chosen products by June 3rd, 2026, and continuing with analyze the business information and detailed cost per product by June 23rd, 2026. The final phases of project involve preparing the assignment report on June 24th, 2026 and finalizing the report by July 3rd, 2026, and ultimately submitting the assignment report together with peer evaluation on July 10, 2026.
Hi, my name is Nur Zahra Alia binti Abdul Rahman and I'm going to explain 6.0 reflections and recommendation and also 7.0 conclusions. For 6.1 reflections on individuals, for Muhammad Amir Haziman bin Muhammad Noor, Amir realized how brutal the technology market is for smartphones and laptops. By researching the background, he learned how fast consumer trends change and how deeply electronic waste laws and battery safety regulations impact how brands launch new devices. Second, for Izzati Inshira binti Rosetan, Izzati found out that planning gadgets is a huge balancing act. She learned that you can't just pack a laptop or phone with high specs, but you have to figure out the real world limits like thermal cooling, battery life, screen size, and component durability. Third, for Muhammad Shafiq Akmal bin Kamal, Shafiq got a massive wake-up call about technology manufacturing costs. He learned that sourcing microchips, logic boards, and premium materials adds up instantly, and calculating the exact labor and factory overhead is critical if you want the device to be affordable. Next, for Sharifah Dia Maisarah binti Said Arifin, Maisarah learned how tough is it to keep a technical project organized. Managing the rules taught her how to ensure the team followed strict electronics testing standards and met deadlines without causing friction within the group. Lastly, for Nur Zahra Alia binti Abdul Rahman, Zahra finally saw the big picture of how a device goes from a concept sketch to a store shelf. Tying everything together taught her how software and hardware development must align, showing her exactly where our team lacked coordination and how we can troubleshoot better in future. For 6.2 recommendations, suggestion or recommendation on how we can further improve in managing the costs. So the first one is improve inventory management. Shopee Mobile should manage its inventory efficiently by ordering only the required amount of raw materials. This helps reduce storage costs, avoid excess inventory, and minimize the risk of obsolete components. Second, purchase materials in bulk. Our company should buy raw materials such as screen, batteries, processors, and laptop parts in bulk, allow the company to obtain quantity discounts. This reduces the direct material cost per unit and increases profitability. For the third, reduce materials waste. Shopee Mobile should monitor the production process to minimize wastage of materials. Better quality control and recycling usable materials can lower production costs and improve efficiency. The fourth, invest in modern production technology. Our company also should use automated machines and advanced equipment that can increase productivity, reduce production errors, and lower direct labor and manufacturing overhead costs in the long run. Lastly, train employees to improve efficiency. Shopee Mobile should provide regular training helps employees work more efficiently and reduce mistakes during production. Higher productivity and fewer defective products help lower direct labor costs and manufacturing costs. Lastly, 7.0 conclusion. Finally, after obtaining an analysis of our business, we can conclude that Shopee Mobile successfully provides high-quality electronic products to both local and outside customers. Through this group project, we learn how to accurately calculate the cost of each product, manage operations smoothly, and ensure that our pricing remains affordable. Lastly, we hope that Shopee Mobile can successfully expand our presence by opening many more branches in the future. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Norilina and I would like to ask you a question. What is the difference between direct costs and indirect costs?
Direct costs are costs that can directly trace to the product, such as materials and direct labor. Indirect costs cannot be directly traced to one product, such as factory rent, electricity, and the factory supervisor's salary.
The second question is, why did your group add 40% to a profit markup?
We added a 40% profit markup so the company can earn a reasonable profit after covering all production and non-production costs. This also helps the business remain sustainable and support future growth.
And the last question, why did your group choose to manufacture smartphone and laptop?
We choose smartphones and laptops because they are high-demand technology products used for education, business, communication, and entertainment. They also allow us to apply cost accounting concepts such as direct materials, direct labor, and overhead allocation.